A lot of people will say that this is the greatest Minecraft mod ever. And honestly, I agree. The Create mod was created by Simibubi in 2019. The mod picks up steam after the mod creator uploaded this video. The mod since then has flourished, amassing over 50 million downloads on CurseForge and spawning a whole bunch of submods or dependencies. However, I am not here to talk about those. I'm here to rank every functional vanilla create blocks. We'll divide this video into two parts: the andesite age and then later the copper age, brass age plus train. Then I'm gonna rank each block from S to F. First on the list, mechanical press. Just like the name, it presses things. But when combined with a basin, it can also compact things like melons or iron blocks. Overall, pretty cool machine, B tier. Cogwheels are the heart of the Create mod. It's used to transfer rotation power by stacking them or put them side by side. When doing that, you will invert the rotation. Overall, an easy A tier. Chutes are like hoppers but cheaper. You can stack them or even make diagonal turns like this. It can also be used to transport items upwards using an encased fan. I'll give it a B tier. Shaft is another core component of the mod, being the best way to transfer rotational power horizontally and vertically. Basically anywhere straight line. Definitely an A tier. Water wheel, the first power source of the mod. You generate power by flowing water on it. It only generates 256 stress units with a rotation speed of 8 RPM. Yeah, it's pretty ass. I mean, you can increase its stress by adding on its side, but yeah, it's not really space efficient.
Hello.
What? Where am I?
Welcome to my class. Here, I'm gonna teach you about the basics of Create. Create mod is about spinning, more exactly, rotations. For example, when you use this mechanical frame, you need rotation to make it bonk. You can rotate it using your hands by using this item called a hand crank. The hand crank's speed is 16 rotation per minute or RPM. More rotations, the speedier your machine operates. Of course, we can't just spin it manually forever. So, we are gonna use a generator, like the water wheel. This thing automatically spins for you, generating rotation. But the water wheel is weak, spinning at a RPM, generating only 256 stress units. Stress units measures how much stress your generator can support before it stops spinning. Machines cause stress. They consume from 1 times your RPM to 8 times your RPM. By adding more machines, your network will eventually be overstressed and stop working. To prevent this, you need to add more
Excuse me, can I continue the video?
Answer this question first. What's the meaning of life?
42?
Wrong.
Well then, F tier. Mechanical belts are perfect for transporting items horizontally and diagonally. It can also be used to transfer RP in every direction, but it has a limit of 20 blocks per one belt, S tier. Next, you craft literally every early game machines using the underside casing. You can also dress up your floating belts, shafts, and cogs, B tier. Next is the large water wheel. It's just like the regular water wheel but better. It provides double the stress units in exchange for slower rotation and bigger size. This does prove that sizes matter, C tier. Large cogwheels are a bigger version of cogwheels. This block can transfer RP just like regular cogs, except you can only place it diagonally. With the big cog, you can speed up or slow down rotation speed by stacking it. Overall, S. Underside funnel extracts items from inventories, like chest. It can be placed all around it, except it only extracts one item at a time. It's actually just better to do it by hand, C tier. Next on the list, underside tunnel. You use this to connect two belts like this, except that it only takes one item off a stack to the connected belt, F tier. Depots are like a stationary belt. You can place item on it. It also extracts items from inventories like chests. I'll give it a C tier. Encase fan is probably one of the most useful machines in Create. You can move items, wash them, cook them, smelt them, or even haunt them. Also, if you reverse its rotation, it can suck instead of push, S tier. Nozzle splits the fan's effect into 5 directions. Seems too good to be true, right? Yeah, it only applies to mobs/entities. D tier for disappointing. Next off, mechanical mixer. This machine needs a basin to work. You can mix a lot of things. It's also the main way to create alloys like andesite and brass alloys, B tier. This is the basin to compact and mix stuff with. It's pretty useless on its own though, but I do like the design, C tier. Millstone is an early game crusher designed to crush flowers to make dyes, and most importantly, crushing wheat to make flour. It's 3 times more efficient than the regular way to make a bread. I'll give it a B tier. Hand crank is the worst power generator in the game. While it's speedy, you can't go anywhere while using it, and also you'll get hungrier the longer you crank it, F tier. Gearbox transfers rotation in all 4 directions. It can also, this thing is really important, A tier. Now we move on to the gear shift. It reverses the rotation direction when given a redstone signal, A tier. Then the clutch stops rotation from transferring altogether when given a redstone signal, B tier. Mechanical harvester harvests crops by moving back and forth. But wait, how do you move it? You move it by creating a moving contraption. You do this, then use a machine like the mechanical piston to move it. When you put a chest above a moving contraption and glue it, it's gonna act as its inventory. So any items harvested by a moving contraption will not be lost. Back to this block, I'll give it a B. Moving on to the mechanical piston, it creates a moving contraption that can be moved the direction the piston head is. To extend it, you need a piston extension pole. But to be honest, this block is really useless without being sticky. Like, what use does it even have? Just push your machine, then just leave it there? F tier. Piston extension pole. It's just a pole. Yeah, maybe you can make tables with it. D tier. Now, this is the good stuff. Sticky mechanical piston. It does everything mechanical piston does, but better because it sticks. Now, you can actually attach your contraption and pull it back by reversing the rotation direction. B tier. Rope pulley creates a moving contraption that can be moved vertically. You move it up and down by controlling its rotation direction. It's usually used for digging a hole or creating an elevator. I'll give it a C tier. Portable storage interface can transfer items from a moving contraption to a stationary one. To extract the item though, you need to put a funnel or a chute to the receiving interface. Still, it's really useful. A tier. Coco clock rings at noon and at dusk when powered. It's really cute. I love it. So I'll give it a B tier. Speedometer measures the rotating speed from your contraption. If you want a precise reading though, you need a goggle. Overall, a pretty nice gadget to have. B tier. Meanwhile, the stressometer measures the amount of stress on your network. To be honest, I think this is way more useful than the speedometer because you need to know how much stress your energy generator or your network can handle. So I'll give it an A tier. The mechanical saw saws trees, even with its leaves. Like, that's so OP! You can even grief your friend's house with this. Also, you can cut trees instantly on the road using mechanical saws and a hand crank. To do this, you shift in front of a tree, then place the saw, place the hand crank, and voila! You got yourself a tree cutter. These saws can also cut other things when facing upwards. For example, it can cut an andesite alloy giving you 6 shafts for 1. A very easy S tier. Next is the turntable. It spins. S tier. Mechanical bearing is a block that can spin your base around by giving it a rotational power. C tier. Sticker is used to stick to contraptions, then unstick when needed. You do this by sending a redstone signal to it. I'll give it a C. Windmill bearing is another energy generator. You generate energy by the power of the wind. To catch these winds, you need to put wool blocks or a more cost-effective block like sails around the bearing. The more sails you put, the faster it spins and the more power it generates. For example, placing 16 sails will generate 1024 SU with the rotation speed being 2 RPM. That's slower than your mom. Placing 128 sails will generate the max SU of 8192 with the rotation speed being 16 RPM. I'll give it a B tier. Now, windmill sail is useless without a windmill bearing, but it looks cool and is dyeable, so I'll rank it a D tier. Encased chain drive transfers rotation just like the mechanical belt, in that it rotates in the same direction when placed beside each other. You can even place them like this to transfer rotation upwards. Pretty cool. A tier. Mechanical plow only destroys non-full blocks like rails, grass, and snow. I don't think it's really that useful. D tier. Next off is the mechanical drill. It drills everything in front of it, including you. Its speed depends on the rotation speed or the contraption speed. I'll give it an A tier. Weighted ejector is a really fun block to play with. It flings item to its target with precision, but you also need a large headspace the farther you go. The ejector can even throw you to the target. B tier. Cart assembler assembles carts. Try to say that 5 times. Cart assembles cart, cart assembles cart, cart assembles cart, cart assembles cart. Yeah. Alright, here's how it works. You can create a moving contraption on top of a minecart. You build your contraption above the assembler. Then, don't forget to glue it. Then, you give it a redstone signal. Bam! It's done. Fun fact, you can also bring your minecart contraptions anywhere by right-clicking an assembled cart with a wrench. Definitely an A tier. Next is the redstone contact. It emits a redstone signal when another redstone contact on a contraption passes it. Really useful to keep tabs on your contraptions. B tier. Next is the gantry carriage. It carries your contraption on a gantry shaft. You move it back and forth by controlling the rotation direction of the gantry shaft. The gantry shaft is where a gantry carriage moves on. You can actually place 4 gantry carriages at the same time. It looks really silly, but you can. You can also stop them by applying a redstone signal to it. I'll give gantry carriage a B and the gantry shaft an A. Alright, here is how the list stands now. Please take this very seriously and leave very angry comments below. Now, if you don't mind me, I will go back into my cave. And as always, thanks for watching. For you that's still watching this, please subscribe. I need to feed my wife and her 2 kids. Thanks.